What up, world? It's Big Muslim on the hustle. We choose the sunlight today and the beach backdrop because we like to relax, okay? Relax and chill. Enjoy the beach. Enjoy your day off. Today we're going to talk about wars that's going on in the world. There's a lot of wars going on in the world. I don't know if people are paying attention to the global scale of things, of how things are going in the world today. But obviously, if you do pay some type of attention, you'll see that there's a lot of wars going on globally. What causes all these wars that's going on? In my personal opinion, I think wars are started based off philosophy and religion, right? And wars have been going on for years, ages, and decades. Yeah? But we can see in recent times we have what I would call a prolonged warfare. A lot of prolonged wars are going on these days. With the U.S. war ending in Iraq or whatnot. I think that was like a 20-year war or something like that. But now you see where you have Israel and a lot of different countries, turmoil and conflict, wars with Russia, Ukraine, and these places, just to name a few. But are wars necessary? Is the question I would ask. And a lot of people would ask that question. Are wars necessary? I think to a degree. To a degree. I think wars are necessary to a degree. It's been going on since the beginning of time. And it's always centered around philosophy and religion and stuff like that. Some wars are necessary. The bigger question is, when does it end? Like, when do wars stop? You get what I'm saying? And if you look at the expense, I mean, they speak about the military-industrial complex. If you look at the expense of war, Tomahawk cruise missile, this, that, whatever. The U.S. has a lot of different things. But if you look at the expense of war and the economical crisis that's going on these days, a lot of people cannot wrap it around their brain or comprehend what's going on. Sorry about the noise. There's an airplane flying by. Okay, they're advertising over the beach. But a lot of people will look at the expense of warfare and say, how can they spend billions of dollars on warfare when there are people who just need, $10 or $20 to get a bus pass to get to work or some stuff like that? That's the super question a lot of people would ask, including myself. Right? How is that possible that so much people could be struggling economically, financially, and so many money is being spent in wars? And these wars come with a heavy price, not just financially, but also psychologically and otherwise. Okay, a lot of people, the mortality rates are very high. A lot of people die due to these wars. Thousands and thousands of people die every day. And if you look at Ukraine and Russia, you'll see exactly what's going on. There are thousands of soldiers that's being dying because they're placed on the front line or whatever the case is to go fight these wars. And not only that, a lot of times, especially in the US and other countries, when these soldiers come back from these wars, they really have little to no use to society. And some of our, which are uh, looked over by society, looked down on by some people in society, and some of them are taken care of. But there's still people out there, a lot of veterans, especially in the US, that are not being taken care of and just pushed to the side by either family members, friends, and whatever they have. Now, you got to look at the military lifestyle to a certain degree. Now, you would imagine that you've joined a service 10, 15, 20 years. You're away from whatever you knew. You separate from family and friends. The relationship has faded. You come back. There's little to no support, right? Sometimes little to no support, even from the government itself, to help those returning people who fought the war and came back. So they have to start life over, sometimes with nothing whatsoever. You get what I'm saying? So those are some of the expenses of war. Very selfless thing to do, but it has a heavy price to pay for it, right? What can you say about today's warfare that's going on, that's different from those warfares that's occurred centuries ago, hundreds of years ago. It's become modernized. It's mostly like a drone war that's going on these days. There's a lot of drones, a lot of air-to-air airplanes like fighter jets. It's mostly aerial warfare that's going on. You get what I'm saying? Ground war is still happening, but it's not as it used to be. I would say it's less ground war, like soldiers on the ground. Um, it's mostly people in airplanes and drones. You notice there's a lot of drones that's doing those warfares. Even in one documentary I saw that in Ukraine they were using drones like the DJI drone to help drop some of those missiles and stuff like that into Russia, and Russia was doing the same thing, and the casualty rate continues to increase. Right? How does this impact the world today? Like, how do wars impact the world today? Well, in my opinion, there's a lot of impacts. Not only just the social aspects of things, but also the as far as like trades and stuff like that is concerned. You get what I'm saying? A lot of trade in, and if you notice, sometimes things that you used to get as far as supply is concerned, this is where the trade comes in, like trade, international trade in between countries. Well, there's shortage of different items that used to be readily available on hand that you could get anytime, anywhere, willy-nilly. And it's becoming difficult and more complicated, which is forces geopolitics to shift. And now there are countries that are also doing their own development of some items that they used to source in different parts of the world, right? So while it's destroying over here, it's creating something else. You get what I'm saying? So one of the things that warfare also do, it destroys and it creates in different regions. You know, it's kind of like a balance. I wouldn't say it's a fair or good balance, because nothing about people dying and losing their lives, limbs, arms, family, loved ones is something that I could say is a fair balance. You understand what I'm saying? So those are some of the things that I look at as far as war is concerned. And I would like, as necessary as I think they are to a certain degree, the length of time, the money spent, the casualty rate, the social impacts of modern wars today, I think is unnecessary. I think it really is. I think it's really unnecessary, especially in these global crisis times. And if you look, ever since the pandemic occurred, you'll notice that today a lot of things are just not what they used to be. And will they ever get back to that spot that they used to be? I don't think some things will. Period. I just don't think it will. I think some things are just going to be changed and morphed into different things. You understand what I'm saying? With time. But will it be back what it used to be before pre-pandemic? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. And if you're paying attention, you could see the reasons why. After the pandemic and a 20-year stretch of war, people's psyche changed. Like the way they see things, it changed. People used to save up for vacations. They're no longer doing that. They're just taking off and heading to their vacations. And it's, look, you're getting out of a 20-year war with the U.S. and Iraq and Afghanistan and all this other stuff. A 20-year war, and then you roll right into a pandemic. It's like boom, and there's the economy in between. So the impact is it's overwhelming. It's an overwhelming impact. Some people, they say, okay, it doesn't affect me. Some people will be like, well, I could see where it affected me, this, that. Now, if you're a person in this world and you can honestly tell me that between the pandemic did not affect you, I don't know where you were living. Maybe in space, right? But those are some of the things, because to me, I think the pandemic is a type of war. Let's put it that way. I think it's a type of war. Who started it? I couldn't say. But it's psychological. It have different impacts. Psychological. It's fatal because it took out a lot of people. So, and it's global, right? So it's affected and impacted the entire globe. So I look at it as a type of war, and people were fighting for their lives and stuff like that. So to me, it's a type of warfare, right? But in all, the thing I can tell any person, and my, a lot of my personal opinion on this, with wars and stuff like that, they need to stop. They need to start these wars and stop. And if they don't have to start them, just don't. The toll it's too burdensome on society. It's too burdensome on society. And there's a lot of soldiers out there and people in the military and this and that, right? And I'm pretty sure they like fighting for whatever cause they're fighting for. But I don't think there's any soldier that would like to fight, or military person from wherever country they are would like to fight for 10 years. I don't think so. You get what I'm saying? And that's one of my personal look on it. But all these lengthy wars, they really need to stop. All these global wars and conflicts going on in the world. And the leaders out there, they need to look at these things and find a solution, because the impact is very lasting. It's shifting a lot of ideology, the way people look at things, and it's shifting a lot of philosophy. So the solution, I think people need to stop these wars. Leaders of the world, come together, unite in some type of agreement, and put a ceasefire to all these wars, so the entire human race could live a much happier and healthy lifestyle, right? And live longer days, and people could enjoy their offsprings and such like that. War is meant to destroy anything, it's not meant to build up a community, so to speak. It's meant to destroy and shift ideology and philosophy. So that's my whole take on the wars that's going on. Wars that's going on around the world, and this other type of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. And as always, don't mess with the United States. Now that could piss some people off, but it's the truth. The US is the most power-packed country, in my opinion, as far as being prepared to fight any war is concerned, right? So all these people out there who are terrorists or whatever you are, don't mess with the United States. You will literally wake up a beehive. Super hornets. Okay. Okay. And this is Big Muscle. I stay on the hustle. Catch me on the next video. Peace.